Okay, you guys are live.
Good afternoon, everybody. The meeting of the Tax Review Commission has come to order. And first item on the agenda, as always, is public testimony. Have we received any?
No public testimony has been received.
Okay, thanks very much. Then on to approval of the minutes of December 1st. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes that were circulated? If not, then
I'd move to approve.
okay, thanks very much, Scott. Second?
Second.
Thanks, Winston. So I will take roll here and indicate whether you approve or not. Scott?
Yes, approve.
Murray?
Yes.
Sale?
Approve.
Winston?
Approved.
And our other members are not here today, and the chair votes approve. So on to our continued discussion about balancing the tax system. And I'm sure that you all had an opportunity to take a look at the revised spreadsheet that Seth sent out. It certainly looks a lot better than what we've looked at before. Are there questions, comments about this approach?
This is sort of what I hoped would happen. The carbon tax essentially balances the budget and then some, which is another reason to adopt it, amongst others.
Yeah. Do you like seeing everything happening in the first year? I know that previously we were talking about the carbon tax coming in at the beginning of for year one, and then other modifications to the income tax revenues happening in year two. But I think that it makes more sense to show it beginning all in one year.
Yeah, I think so. And we can even put comments if we think it makes sense in the report that Jonathan's working on to basically say, you know, we understand there might be policy reasons to delay, for example, the taxation of pension income by a few years, or maybe delay a couple of years for the carbon tax. But let's make the decision to make those changes now. And just in the interest of not knowing how many years, if the legislature wants to delay, since we're, you know, that's up to the legislature, we don't know, just for simplicity's sake, we're showing everything as if it started on year one, just so you have an apples to apples comparison, and kind of leave it at that, because trying to pick a certain number of year delay, I mean, they're going to do that anyway, so we don't need to be doing that, I don't think.
Right. And I think that this clearly shows how all of the different pieces interact and affect overall revenues. Any other commentary?
No, I would agree, because politically wise, if they defer it, they'll defer it for the best interest of saving people. But I think our recommendation is fine with me. I'm okay with moving forward with what you have so far.
Okay.
Same. I agree. I like the way that it's laid out with the impact each year. I mean, if they want to delay it, like Scott said, they'll delay it, but at least we have the impacts laid out on the chart for them, so they can use that information.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, then it sounds like we have agreed to adopt this version. Why don't we go ahead and take a vote on that? Again, Scott?
Yes, approve.
Oh, maybe we should make a motion and go through that.
I'll let
Scott,
Clay
you can
go
make
ahead.
the motion.
Murray,
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sale. So all approved or not. Scott?
Yes, approve.
Murray?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Winston?
Yes.
And chair votes yes too. I think really that was our business for today. Jonathan, are there any other remaining questions as you're working through the report that you need more guidance on?
Well, I think there's a couple things that the commission hasn't decided for sure. I think one of the outstanding things is the dividend or cash back for the carbon tax. 80-20 seems to have pretty much unanimous agreement. But as far as that, the cash back, which income quintiles will get that.
Share
So I think
across all 5 or just the bottom 4, right?
that's the question.
So
That's
I
one of the outstanding questions.
I think, Beth, in the past, I was advocating for sharing across all 5. You were advocating for just the bottom 4. I'm okay if this makes it easier for us. So I see benefits on both sides. So if you share across all 5 quintiles, the messaging for a legislator or someone supporting the carbon cash back is easier because you can say basically everyone's welfare is the same or better off. So it's an easier message. If you say you only share with the bottom 4, you can't say that anymore because the top 20% will definitely be worse off, but it's more progressive, so it helps the poor more. So each has a positive message. One is it helps the poor more, but the rich less. And the other one says, but everyone is going to be the same or better off. And so what we could do if we wanted to, if we didn't want to, I mean, we can either debate the issue and kind of vote on it, or we could kind of punt and say, look, we think that the carbon tax and the 80-20 is the really important thing. There's this question of bottom 4 or all 5 quintiles, and just paint the picture that on one hand, everyone's the same or better off with the one side. On the other hand, it's more progressive and helps the poor more on the other side. And just draw that comparison and let the legislature choose on that. I mean, they're going to choose ultimately anyway. So the question is whether we want to make a hard recommendation on the sharing, or if we just want to say, there's a benefit to each side of this and the legislature can pick what they think makes the most sense. If we wanted to punt, but I'm fine either way. We can either debate it out or kind of punt in that fashion.
That's a good suggestion, Murray. Scott, do you have a preference?
I think you do the harder one and let them choose the other one. I would be for the 80-20 and then let them go with everybody.
Okay. Sale, do you have a preference?
No, the 80-20 split is fine. I think just serve it up to them and we can figure it out.
Okay. And Winston?
Yeah, no preference here as well.
Okay. Well, Murray, I do like your suggestion of showing the pros and cons of both because, obviously I'd prefer that it just be the bottom 4 quintiles, but I can also see the benefit in doing it the other way. So, Jonathan, does that make it clear what the write-up needs to be?
Yes, I can write it up, kind of giving the 80-20 split for sure, the cash back for sure, that's the point, and then
Yes.
Equal shares for sure, and then just who it goes to, either all 5 or the bottom 4 quintiles, and then kind of list some pros and cons of each.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can also do a distribution of what the cash back would be in both scenarios.
I think
I'll
study does show, I think she shows different cash back amounts based on all 4 or all 5, right? I think she has that.
yeah, I had that in, I took something like that from hers. I got to go and revisit it and make sure I'm doing it right based on the way Seth did his, numbers based on the carbon pricing assessment. So, but yeah, that's something me and Seth can work out. And yeah, I think I can give that cashback amount per household, if that's what you mean. Per
Yes.
household in the bottom 4, per household if it's to all 5.
Yes.
That's in the
Yeah.
assessment.
Are there any other issues that are outstanding?
Well, some of these I think are things I heard come up, and I wasn't sure if you wanted to consider these as but one of the things I thought there wasn't a full consensus on is whether to include Social Security, tax Social Security benefits in the retirement thing. Right now it's written up and priced for the defined benefit pension, but it still excludes Social Security benefits from taxation. And then the other one was, and this is based on something I wrote in before the recommendation section of the report about refundable credits and the refundable EITC. That was brought up as a possibility, but that hasn't been, debated throughout the previous meeting. So I didn't know if that was something y'all wanted to do. That's just a couple of things I noticed were, lacked a full consensus.
Right. So thank you for reminding us about that. I think that our vote on the spreadsheet as it was presented indicates our agreement that we're not going to change any of the tax aspects of Social Security.
Okay.
Right. Okay. And then the last minute request that I put in to support the refundable earned income tax credit, I think that it's kind of late in the game for us to discuss that. So we'll just set that aside and not mention it in the report.
Okay. Thank you. I'm just scrolling through my latest document. Yeah. So that's all that I can think of outstanding issues.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jonathan. So today is the 8th. We are meeting again on the 15th, at which point we need to give final approval to the overall report. When do you think you're going to have another draft for us to review?
I can get another draft by this Friday, so you can read
Okay.
it before. So maybe the let's say Saturday morning, or
Okay.
to give me all day, because I have to work on it after work.
Right, of course.
So, so yeah, Saturday. So you have the weekend and next week to look at the latest version.
Will you be able to do that in a red line format versus the previous version, so we can really focus on the changes instead of rereading every word?
Yes,
That'd be great.
I'll do
Thank
that.
And although it's not official business, I'm noting my disappointment that I didn't get the memo from Scott and Winston on which Christmas shirt I was supposed to wear. I wore the wrong one, darn it.
Well, maybe we can make it happen on the 15th.
Right, so that is also on the agenda today. Are we all up for meeting in person at the Department of Taxation next Wednesday at noon?
I'm game.
Same here.
Okay.
I should be
Sale?
available.
Winston, good. Sale, are you?
Yeah, I guess I just have something at 2, so
Should be
I
done.
guess I
by
can do
then.
that. Yeah.
I am hoping that our agenda will be brief and festive.
Just make sure, Sal, you get the same shirt by Wednesday now.
I don't own any Christmas shirts. We can
Now,
do
the coordination is going to have to go through staff, because we can't be
Yes,
discussing this
Sunshine
offline.
laws will not allow us to coordinate our shirts in advance. We can't do that.
Sunshine law.
Okay, so I think that there is no other business for today. I am looking forward to actually seeing you in person next Wednesday and meeting many of you for the first time.
Is there any
So-
special entry things that we need to know to get into the building, or
The last time I went there, I thought I needed at least a copy of my vaccination card. The last time I went to DOTAX. So
Okay.
just FYI.
Yeah, I'm not aware of the details. I'll talk to Seth and whoever else, and make sure Seth gets that to y'all.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm glad you asked.
thank you.
Okay, well, if there is nothing else, then our meeting is adjourned today. Thanks very much. See you next week.
Thanks,
Thanks.
everybody.
Great, thank you.
Bye.